Southgate has picked his 30 players for the Euros, of which he's got to reduce by 26. Very quickly, it's quite simple to pick out most of them anyway. If you look at his goalkeepers, we've got to compare to the World Cup squad just a couple of years ago. His keepers were Pickford, Ramsdale, Pope. Pope's out. I think he's going to stick with Pickford and Ramsdale. He's got to choose between Henderson and Trafford. Who's he going to pick? My opinion is he's going to go for Henderson for the experience. That's all. I think Trafford is there, to give him a little bit of a, come on, some experience with the squad, etc. To know you could be the future. But I think he'll stick with Henderson just because of his experience. That's it. Defence. If you look at the defence at 22 World Cup, it was Trent, Maguire, Stones, Trippier, Shaw, Walker. He's dropped Dyer, White, Cody. So 3 more players he's got to now draft in. Who are those 3 players going to be? It is Konsa, Gomez, Dunk, Kwanzaa, Guthi and Braithwaite. Got to take 3 from there. I think he'll keep Trent anyway, he's going to keep Trent because in my opinion he can play midfield, and I think he's going to keep him there as a player that he can move and manipulate both positions. If he needs him at that right full back, he'll put him there, but I don't think that's really what he wants to play him. But I think he's only going to replace Dyer, White and Cody. My opinion, out of those 6 players, Konsa, who I think he's going to come on. I think he's just beautiful player. I think he's going to go for Gomez. I personally think Gomez makes too many mistakes. I'm sorry, Liverpool supporters, that's just my opinion, whether I'm right or wrong. But I think he's going to go for Gomez because he's got a bit more experience than some of the others. Dunk, I don't think is good enough. Sorry, Dunk, you're a great player, but I think you played for England. I think you showed inadequacies there. Braithwaite of Everton, you could be a future guy, but I don't think he's going to risk bringing you in this quickly for the Euros. I think he's going to go for a bit of experience, and that therefore leaves Kwanzaa and Guthi. I'm at a quandary with this because how can I argue Braithwaite has not got enough experience and Kwanzaa should go instead? I actually think Kwanzaa should go instead, but I think he's going to pick Guthi of Crystal Palace because of the experience. That's what I think. But personally, I would go for Kwanzaa and Guthi. I wouldn't take Gomez, but I think that's what he's going to do. Anyway, as far as the interesting thing now is midfield and forwards. One's from the 22 World Cup that are going. Foden, Rice, Maddison, Gallagher, Bellingham. Definites, they're going to go. Grealish, he's put in. Not sure, but he's got in that 30. Out go Mount, Phillips and Henderson. So 3 players definitely are going to be replaced. I think Grealish should be replaced as well, but that's not my decision. On the forwards, Kane, Saka, and there are 3 out. Wilson, Rashford and Sterling. So frankly speaking, that's 6 players he's got to replace in the midfield, come forward positions. 6. And 7 if he doesn't take Grealish, who I wouldn't. I just don't think he's played well enough, and I don't think he's played enough games. But he's bringing him in the 30, so show him he's still in the fold. My opinion. So we've got to replace 6 to 7 players. In the centre forward positions, there's Tony and Watkins. Personally, I know everybody loves Tony. I think they think he's great, etc. I don't think he's been playing well since he's come back from his ban and his little injury. I wouldn't take Tony. But I suppose he's a very different type of player. Big, strong. He'll upset some of those sort of Mediterranean footballers in the defence. I think he'll take Tony. Personally, I wouldn't. I think he'll also take Watkins. I think Watkins is a different type of player to Tony and to Kane. So I think I would take both of those players in the end. That's what I would do. That still leaves 4, maybe 5 players, depending on whether he takes Grealish. Out of those 4 or 5, he's got picked for the 30. Manu, Palmer, Bowen, Eze, Curtis Jones, Gordon and Wharton. Who are you going to pick from that? Manu surely has to go. I'd have Manu because I think he is class. He would be in my first team now, seriously, always. Palmer, you cannot be seriously even thinking about him. 100% he has to go. Then you've got to consider Gordon. Gordon is too similar a player to Palmer. Can you have them both in the same team, both in the same squad? I like Gordon. great player. But you either have him or Palmer. Palmer all day. So Gordon, sorry, I wouldn't take you. Bowen, I think, you know, you have proven, you know, this season you've really played really well, as you did last season. You can play centre forward, you can play out on that wing. I take Bowen. Curtis Jones or Vaulton? Do you know what? I take Curtis Jones. Young, you know, he's got a bit of experience now. He's got energy, and I love him as a player. I would take Curtis Jones, and in the middle with him, I'll take Eze, because he adds something different, a little bit of class. He can break down players with that pass. He can, that little dribble he's got, that little, and he pushes through players and round players, and then lays ball off. So I would go with him, and I'd drop Grealish. Sorry, Grealish, you won't like that. That's what I would do, guys. It will be interesting what Southgate does. Konza I love. I think he should be there with Stones in the back four, but he won't do that. He's going to stick with Maguire and Stones. Let's see what he does and what his final 26 will be. See how close I get. How close do you think, guys? It'd be interesting to get some feedback from you, because I know Newcastle supporters are going to be saying Gordon and Walton. I know some of you guys are going to say he deserves to be. I think he's inexperienced. I don't know. Be interesting. Let's get some feedback. That's my decision, my thoughts anyway.